Hi, I'm Cheryl Koch.
I'm Nicole Kodak.
And we're the co-chairs of the Simsbury DEI Council. The DEI Council represents the community at large, serves as diversity champions, helps Simsbury become more welcoming and inclusive, where all voices are welcome for current and future community members.
Welcome to the Let's Talk program. If it's your first time watching, this series covers conversations about diversity, equity, and inclusion in our community.
Today, we're talking with the Director of Equity and Access for Simsbury Public Schools, Dr. Tayarisha Batchelor.
We wanted to give you the opportunity to hear how does the Equity Council work with the Diversity, Equity, Inclusion Council. So welcome, Dr. Batchelor.
Well,
thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I am delighted to be your very first guest. The Simsbury's Equity Council is a Board of Education committee that is organized, including students, teachers, staff, and families. I enjoy the partnership because as we look to ensure that we have an inclusive environment where Simsbury continues to thrive for all students and families, the school district is looking for ways that we can engage our students and ensure that they're having that experience in schools. On the Equity Council, we have students that are looking at engagement through their lens, and we're looking for ways to ensure that all of our programs are diverse, they're rich, and they really give students the opportunity to practice the competencies of the vision of a graduate.
Dr. Batchelor, when we talk about diversity, equity, and inclusion, sometimes people are not quite sure what we mean when we say that. And I thought maybe if you help us understand about the types of diversity and inclusion that you work on, that might help our audience.
Diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging is ensuring that all stakeholders, all students, all families can see themselves in the work that we do. Their lived experiences are valued. They bring different languages, different ethnicities, different religions, and different interests to our community. And we want to ensure that we're using that to give them the best opportunity that they can.
And Dr. Batchelor, you have an Equity Council that is in the school community. Can you tell us a little bit about membership and some of the things that you're doing with the Equity Council in the school?
So the Equity Council is working on the fun events that students enjoy engaging in. They're currently working on the Diversity, Equity, Inclusion, and Belonging Week, which was formerly the Equity Week. They look at course offerings, transportation for students that are coming through our CREC program. They look at sports.
There are two Equity Councils in the school system. One is just for the high school community, and the other one is for the public school district at large. Can you explain a little bit about the different councils and what they do?
Sure. So the Equity Council for the district focuses on looking at systems and structures for all of the schools, looking at programming, curriculum, and being able to offer some recommendations to the school board based on some of the access and opportunity gaps that may persist. The school level teams, and there is one specifically at the high school, focus on activities and student supports relative to that school community. So for instance, at the Simsbury High School, that equity team is made up of students that are involved in the Equity Council, but they may also be involved in some other types of sports and clubs. And they come together to look at issues related to their school community, climate, access, sports, and currently they are focusing on our Diversity, Equity, Inclusion, and Belonging Week, which was formerly our Equity Week. So they do a lot of hands-on planning and talking to all of the students and ensuring that the environment at their high school fits our vision of a graduate and our mission and vision for all students.
So how do students become involved in the Equity Council if they like to? Are they chosen by teachers? Are they chosen by you? Give me a couple of results.
Membership is open for any faculty or student that is interested. There are times where we're working on branding. For instance, we might need some support from other clubs when we're planning but it is a core group of individuals who come in to work on the issues of diversity, equity, and inclusion.
Or any student essentially could become part.
Absolutely. And I invite students who are interested to come and join one of the meetings and see what we're all about.
I've heard some great feedback about the former Equity Week, now called Diversity, Equity, Inclusion, and Belonging Week. Can you tell us a little bit about some of the exciting topics and interest from the students and faculty in learning and engaging?
Based on the survey and feedback last year, students told us that it was valuable, that they want to see more diversity, equity, and inclusion activities and opportunities happening throughout the school year. And they also told us that they enjoy having choice. So being able to select from different types of programs and activities was useful for our students. Last year, there were topics on leadership, topics on culture, music, different types of education, cooking, reading, and it allows students to show their talents. Students are leading the work. We're doing the work for them, and we have the support of their teachers who are getting information from the students and their families to see what types of topics and engagement opportunities. We often talk to students in forums and families as well in forums to get information.
So if I recall correctly, and I may be wrong, last year you did a series of meetings with stakeholders. Do you want to tell us how that went, who you talked to, what kind of information you gathered from those meetings?
Last year, we held forums on engagement, and we also surveyed families, students, and teachers using an engagement survey. From that, that information provided us with our next steps in terms of looking at our curriculum, looking at the clubs and activities that support our students, and identifying different equity gaps that we could address. This year, we want to continue those conversations. We will have a survey for families as well as for students. And I also encourage people to reach out through their PTO and get involved.
Great idea.
Yeah. Also, can you give us an example of what would be an equity gap and what would be an outcome we would like to be working toward?
The Equity Council has provided recommendations based on data to look at student performance and access to AP and honor courses. We've also looked at our special education population and currently looking at ways that we can increase the amount of students that have access to AP.
I appreciate that it's data-driven, and I appreciate that it takes a look at the student body as a whole. Are there ways that you ever would need support for this kind of?
Absolutely. I think community support starts with understanding the diversity that we have within our school and within our student body, taking the time to acknowledge the great work that all of our students have accomplished, and take a look at the areas where there are gaps. And where gaps are persistent, what are some of the strategies that we can put in place to ensure that we continue to thrive? We look at global citizenship and the vision of a graduate, and we want to ensure that the opportunities of our activities and supports lead students to be able to be proficient in those competencies.
We have had the great pleasure of having some students from the high school work with us on the DEI Council.
Yeah.
We absolutely love that. And they have been amazing and great contributors to the DEI Council. Do you see opportunities for other members of the DEI Council or other activities we might be engaged in on the community side to interact with the Equity Council, either one of them?
Absolutely. I would love for our students to be able to share their experiences, to share their stories and their work. We have high school students that are working on capstone projects that would absolutely support the well-being and the welcoming environment in the town. And we would love to give them the opportunity to share what they're doing and what they're learning.
One of the most exciting things involving students that happened last year was we had 2 students work together to develop the banner for Juneteenth, for the celebration for the town. And that hung over the Hot Meadow Street for about 2 weeks. And one of the students was able to even join the event, and we could acknowledge him during the event. And we hope to repeat that again this year. So that was an exciting collaboration. I appreciated that.
Oh, that has been great crossover between 2 committees, and we are very much looking forward to having that event expand and be embrace more activities and cultural events. And we just love the fact that the students are so willing to be involved. Singing and the preparation and all of it. It's been a great contribution to the endeavor.
My right-hand person for Juneteenth last year was for sure the high school representative we have on our council this year. Really, really super integral and engaged. And actually it spilled over into the high school in the pen, making the pen project for the veterans. And a number of us went and made pens in the shop at the high school for veterans. That was really an exciting little crossover. I really appreciate that.
Well, we're just about out of time for our segment today. We'd love to have you come back and join us again. If there's news, if there's anything to share with us, we would welcome you back at any time. And of course, we always look forward to seeing you at our DEI Council meeting. Thanks, Tim. Just as a note to the public, anybody is welcome to come to our meetings at any time. We meet the first Monday of the month at the library. Well, thank you very much for joining us today.
And thank you for the work that you're doing.
Thank you for watching.
We would love to hear from you. If you have any experiences you would like to share, or if you have any questions you'd like us to address, or suggestions for topics of interest, or you'd like to volunteer, let us know.
You can reach us at the email on the screen, or follow us on Facebook and Instagram, or visit our website. Thank you for watching.
And we'll see you around town.
Funding for Simsbury Community Television is provided in part by contributions from viewers like you. Thank you.